So I'm Bree Strickland, and my capstone is called Changing Teacher Behavior Through Instructional Coaching Cycles. So the study overview talks about just instructional coaching in general. It's gained popularity over the years, especially Jim Knight's impact cycle has gained popularity in the instructional coaching realm because it's unified the process of instructional coaching cycle. And what instructional coaching is instructional coach working with a teacher to allow them to reflect, to set goals, to learn new strategies, to implement these strategies, and really help teachers over time to refine instructional practice and see really that learning is never ending in a teacher's life. So there's a lot of research in the field of instructional coaching, but really there's a gap in the literature regarding attitudes and behaviors that teachers have at different points within instructional coaching cycles. The topic addressed in the study are the changes that occur in teacher efficacy and instructional practices among teachers at Jubilee Middle School, and this is as a result of instructional coaching cycles. So these attitudes and behaviors can help in measuring effectiveness of instructional coaching in general as an alternative to professional development approaches. My research questions was, does the impact cycle coaching model impact Jubilee Middle School teacher instruction, and if so, how? And does the impact cycle coaching model impact Jubilee Middle School teachers' motivation to grow professionally, and if so, how? So also what I did within my literature review was I looked at the impact cycle in general and looked at the stages of the impact cycle. And there are basically 3 stages. The teacher self-reflects and identifies something that they would like to target, to set a goal. They research with the instructional coach new strategies and learn new strategies that might help them reach this goal. And ultimately, they track that goal with data and ultimately, hopefully, reach their goal and improve. So it was necessary to look at a lot of literature review regarding adult learning theory, middle school learners, instructional coaching in general, and professional development in general as well. One thing I found was teachers have to have continual evaluation in reshaping to best advance learning. And so a lot of teachers have brief workshops. They view a practice, but they don't really use that practice and reflect upon it. And those one-stop kind of workshops don't give the teachers time for that information to permeate and allowing them to use it in their in their current instructional practice. And with adult learning theory, giving teachers a voice and their options for professional development increases their self-efficacy. So with these instructional coaching cycles, teachers have a voice in their options in the way that the instructional coaching cycle goes. Now, Kelly 2017 believes for adults to learn best, they have to be self-motivated by needs they wish to satisfy, have a sense of autonomy in their learning process, and learning must be individualized. And the adults must be able to relate what they're learning to real life. So that goes along with that instructional coaching and the impact cycle, giving them autonomy, giving them choice. Now, in a study conducted by Tentawi, it was found professional development aids in positive transformation of instructional practice, student performance, and overall career progression. And then Megan and Dunsmore 2014 noted that teachers are more likely to change instructional practice if they have strong supports from instructional leaders. So these instructional coaches can be those strong supports. And Suarez 2017 noted that instructional coaching gives one the ability to transform teaching and learning by empowering teachers, allowing them to choose those goals. And once those goals are established, instructional coach and teacher can expand strengths and target areas of improvement. And so when implementing instructional coaching cycles at the middle school level, it's important to remember that middle school years are lacking research, and these are the most crucial years for students. So the epistemology and positionality, I'm a positivist. The human experience to me the human experience of each research participant and the researcher was influenced in the outcome of the study. Assumptions were limited to the context in which they were studied. I'm also a constructivist. I view that the perception of the world and the assumptions made are dependent upon human beings and their context. So multiple truths can exist within a study. Positionality, I'm a Caucasian female in my mid-30s. I'm the director of middle school curriculum and instruction. I have a broad background in teaching for 9 years and strategy use and in research in strategies in effective instruction. And I also attended a week-long instructional coaching institute with Jim Knight where the impact cycle was focused on. Now, the methodology behind the study, I used a parallel mixed methods approach with an initial interview, followed by a post-interview after the impact cycle took place. Now, the observations took place while teachers were trying to use new strategies to meet goals and to record if goals were met. And then after, an online questionnaire through Qualtrics was completed by teachers. Convergent design with triangulation method of data collection was used. I sought IRB approval and got permission from the head of school to conduct this research. And data collection, the validity was obtained and reliability. I tested the collection instruments in multiple settings. I also met with doctoral students in the research center to talk about the validity and reliability of these instruments. Now, 4 participants were chosen, and this was done through convenience and proposive sampling. And the steps that I took was I first started with the invitation. I talked about instructional coaching, what it was, and what it included. I got consent by teachers that volunteered to do this. There was an initial interview with the teachers with about 5 questions regarding the research questions, targeting those. And then there's an observation of teacher participant instruction. This was sometimes self-reflection by the teacher, sometimes observations by me. And then I met with the teacher, met with them bi-weekly to talk about their goal and their strategies that they were using. And then there was a final interview and questionnaire after the teachers had completed the impact cycle. Now, the data analysis, I used a constant comparison method where I categorized information to find common themes and to in order to make my argument for my research questions, to answer those. Now, there were ethical issues and limitations. Now, to address ethical issues, or there were no ethical issues is what I'm trying to say. There was confidentiality for all the teachers. They were labeled with pseudonyms. There was voluntary study, and signed consent was obtained by the researcher. And then Qualtrics and electronic data was kept with those pseudonyms. It is password protected. It will be deleted after 1 year after the study. Now, the limitations within this, it's a private preparatory school in Mobile, Alabama. Only 4 teachers were in this study, so that limits the external validity. And teachers were allowed to collect data based on teacher preference for collecting data to track their goal. So that actually, limited the reliability of data collection because the teachers collected that. And then newly created observational tools were used. They were individualized tools that I created with the teachers to track their goal. So they were unique and individualized for the teacher. Now, the findings that we have for research question 1, does the impacts coaching cycle model impact Jubilee middle school teacher instruction, and if so, how? So in here, the teachers, this was the questionnaire responses. We have, for example, teacher 1 starts as very motivated. They always like to get stuff to incorporate it. But after they said, I'm very motivated, but they also talk about a new strategy that's worked. Why not continue to try new things? The teacher 2 says, I always learn something new when I attend professional development. And they said at the end, I'm very motivated. They started off with pretty motivated. They ended with very motivated. And then also talked about new strategies that they want to see what's out there based on those strategies. Teacher 3 said, I'm motivated right after I attended professional development, and then forget about it. So that tells me that they're not as motivated. But they ended with very motivated. They feel like they winged it at the beginning of the year, and they referenced a specific activity that was used that they saw success in. Teacher 4 responded that they are motivated but hesitant to try new things. So this told me that the teacher was motivated, but I didn't see as big of a change in this teacher. So 3 out of 4 teachers, I saw a big change to show me that yes, these teachers are implementing new strategies. They're motivated to continue to use these strategies. Now, to answer research question 1 about instruction, the observational data was taken the goal tracking meeting 1 and 2. I recorded, did the teacher make progress towards their peers' goal? Teacher 1 did both times. Teacher 2 did not start off meeting their goal, but for the second meeting, they did meet their goal. Teacher 3 made progress for their goal each time. We had a meeting to goal track, and then teacher 4 started by meeting their goal. There was a little bit of regression in their goal, so we said that they did not show progress that second time. Now, in the questionnaire responses for instructional strategies, I compared question 15 to 18 about effective instructional strategies used in the classroom through this statement. Now, the teachers start off with 5.25, which is around agree, if we round down. Now, 5.50 is closer to 6, so strongly agree. We did see a growth in implementation of effective instructional strategies and the perception of that in the questionnaire. Now, for research question 2 regarding the teacher's motivation to grow professionally, I took right here the interview questions. And the teacher said, okay, the strategy we used was from professional development. And I love PD. That tells me, yes, they love PD. They're going to be motivated to participate in professional development. Teacher 2 said, I like professional development, but I want to see more strategies now and see what's out there. So that's a growth from seeing this. And then teacher 3 says they are more likely to seek professional growth opportunities. They reference a specific strategy, and now they want to see more strategies that are out there to try. And teacher 4 said maybe it hasn't pushed them to seek PD for things that were discussed during the impact cycle, but they want to see more skills in their content area. And that all of these responses indicate a motivation to grow professionally and the increase in that. Now, from the open response for question 21 and 24 of the questionnaire was linked to teacher motivation to grow professionally. The question asked on question 21 if their motivation to seek professional growth opportunities has increased. Now, the average response was agree, so teacher motivation to seek professional growth opportunities has increased based on this response. Question 24 asked if they would recommend instructional coaching cycle using the impact cycle, and the average response was agree. So this beneficial outlook indicates that these teachers would be more likely to volunteer for an instructional coaching cycle in the future, thus participating in a professional growth opportunity. Now, overall, the implications, given the data from the interview questions and survey responses, as well as the observational data recorded, it's evident that teacher involvement in the impact cycle model of instructional coaching had a positive impact on teacher instruction, as well as teacher motivation to grow professionally. Now, going forward, I would say that teachers need to be required. If they are a new teacher moving grade levels, content area, or first few months, they need to participate in instructional coaching cycles. Now, it should occur after the first few months of the school year to get them time to get into their practice and get to know their students. I would also recommend a longer duration of coaching cycle to increase the reliability of data collection. It did last longer than 6 to 8 weeks. That was recommended. Now, future research, I would love to see the impact on teacher efficacy. The 4 teachers within the study reported an increase in confidence level, so that indicates that teacher efficacy increased within the study, and I'd like to dive into that more. I think it would also be helpful for a longitudinal study to occur to see over time, an extended period of time, if there is an impact on teacher motivation to grow professionally, as well as that instructional practice. Are teachers still using these strategies? And then it would be great to see in elementary and high school divisions to see if it correlates in these divisions. And student achievement data, would be wonderful to link to instructional coaching cycle to see if there's an impact of instructional coaching cycle on overall student achievement data and increasing achievement levels. So here are my references for my presentation. Thank you so much for listening to Changing Teacher Behavior through Instructional Coaching Cycles.